What's up, y'all? It is your boy Tuned In Tony, and I'm back with my guy Rich, and we are doing the podcast for the right time this time. So this is part 2, so y'all didn't see part 1 because we spent all our time making a great production for you guys and didn't have any other audio recording. Womp, womp, womp. So now we're here to redo this and make sure we drop those gems on y'all and those games about and all that stuff about the t-shirt game. So let's get it. What's up, Rich?
What's up, man? What's up, man?
Man, nothing much, man. I'm just glad that we're here talking to these people. I got my coffee. It's a good day. We're about to just really talk to the people and share some knowledge with them.
Man, we got interrupted last time too, man. We had our energy, and then the mailman came. We had to get him all the mail.
We had to get the packs
We got a clip
off.
in the video somewhere.
Man, for sure. So where do you think we should start off first? I guess last time we wanted to tell the people about us because they see you mainly because this is your page, and they see Cool Rich, Nissan GTR. He's going to all the people's screen printing shop. He's connected, but let's give him a little background about who you are. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so started off in graphic design, 13, 14, did nightclub ads, promotions, billboard designs. I don't know, a whole bunch of designs in the promotional space, like business card designs. Did a whole bunch of that from high school to my time in college. And then I got into wedding videography, music videos.
Nice.
Got out of college. Did ecom. But I went straight into Etsy. I did like Teespring. I was trying to do stickers. I was trying to do a brand. I was trying to do too much.
Yeah.
And then eventually, man, I would say I kind of struck gold, half luck, half attacking it.
In what area though?
On Etsy. So
Etsy?
My first successful month on Etsy, I did like 10 grand in a month just selling back to school t-shirts. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
That was the first time I was like.
Did you find the design on Etsy or like what happened?
Something similar, but then I made it myself. I didn't buy the design or anything. I just made it.
Yeah.
But I only had heat transfer vinyl. And one thing that we was picking up in the last video podcast is the fact that if you're using heat transfer vinyl, you need to use the heat transfer vinyl machine in a way that you can't use other production methods. So I'll specialize in names, graduation years,
personalization and stuff like that.
Because that's
but you weren't using vinyl; you were using heat transfers for that.
Heat transfer vinyl.
Heat transfer vinyl. Okay, yeah. Because I definitely did that too. Before I even knew about heat transfers, which we'll talk about at the end. I was using vinyl to do, I was in the Greek apparel industry. Right. So they got line names and crossing semesters and numbers. And I was literally, people can go to my website, pick the product and then customize it. So that was also increasing the average order value.
Right.
So that was definitely cool. And then it's cool that you said that you got a big hit on Etsy or whatever, because a lot of people don't know also is, sometimes we're always focused on building our brands, right? Of just being the whatever the logo is. But what you can do is build a following around a niche, because I've done this several times. I have original designs that I actually design, but then sometimes I go on Etsy because I already have a following for that niche, and I'll find a pre-designed design that you may get for $5, and then as long as your crowd likes it, because they're trying to buy something within that niche, it's you can kind of save yourself some of the struggle. And sometimes there's a lot of designers that are actually better than you are. Yeah. So, I've done that before and hit it real big on a holiday weekend from pre-designed designs on Etsy.
Right.
So, yeah.
So a lot of everybody already know my background. What about you, John?
So with me, I'm the newcomer on here. People are just finding out about me. One of my friends is you're the hidden gem that no one knows about. And I kind of started off similar too. I started Photoshop in high school at the age of 18. Mainly because I wanted to start a social network that pretty much connected young entrepreneurs. It was called the Young Successors, and I knew I needed graphics, and I didn't know how to do them, and I couldn't afford to pay for them. So I went on to YouTube University, figured out how to design stuff by just piecing it together. And when I look back, my designs were trash, but at least it was something back then. And that's how I got my love and that passion for designing, which fast forward into college led me to do flyers, which helped me network myself to different organizations. And then I met a guy that was doing t-shirts, and that was in about 10, I started doing t-shirts. So he was doing the t-shirts, I was doing the graphics, and we kind of connected. And at that time, there was nothing e-commerce. It was literally just we were screen printing. I was getting orders. And then once me and him fell off, I still needed a way to print shirts. So then I discovered contract screen printing.
Right.
So what contract screen printing is, here's a gem for everybody. Contract screen printing is a way that you can make money by having a relationship with a screen printing company that's going to give you discounted prices in return for consistent work. So at that job, what you do at that point is find like a church, a school, somebody who needs shirts, and you're basically actually doing less work. You're probably making more money than the printer, because the printer may make $1 or $2 per shirt, but they've got the ink cost, the labor in there. You could charge $3 more per shirt. So say a gilding costs $2. Screen printer charges 75 cents for one color. You're $2.75 in. You may be charging your customer $6 per shirt on a gilding, making, what's that, $3.25, something like that.
Right.
You got a 100 t-shirt order, you just made $325, and you just managed the order.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's like contract screen print was good for me. And then when I got out of school, I was interning at a screen print shop in Knoxville, Tennessee, where I'm from, and they were doing e-commerce.
Right.
And that's when I was like, man, they don't have to deal with the customers like face to face. Of course, you got customer service, but they're like making money sleeping. So when I was contract screen printing, I'm showing up, trying to show love to everybody, so they send me the orders. But e-commerce is working on its own. So I went home, and I was already in a fraternity. So I was like, I don't really like the shirts that are available in the for the Divine Nine. I went and designed like 10 shirts that night, put them on a Squarespace site, ran my first ads when Facebook ads were a lot easier, and woke up with $600. And it was to the moon from there with e-commerce.
Ooh.
So yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, you worked for a screen printer.
Yeah.
You interned.
Yeah.
You jumped into your own screen print shop?
Yeah, so I worked there for like a year and a half. Kind of like they just gave me office space because they had a humongous warehouse, and I was helping them out. And then once it was that time for me to grow, which is just that organic time, you just, God's saying it's time to move on. Basically, I was like, you know what? I need my own equipment because I'm tired of waiting on other people's deadlines. So, or other people's jobs in the way of what I need to get. So that's one con to the contract screen printing.
Right.
Is your work is a lesser amount. It's not the retail price that screen printer is charging his other customers. So if he's got other jobs, he's probably gonna put those other jobs in front of yours. So as I started growing, that started to become a conflict for me. Right. So then from my connections that I had in the city, they told me to reach out to a credit union. And then I had got like an SBA loan before all this PPP and all that stuff was cool. And they gave me a $30,000 line of credit. And then I basically got a screen print package. So that comes with the press, washout tank, exposure unit, conveyor dryer, screens, ink. And that was the start of my in-house brand group business right there. So it was, and at that point, that was in 2014. It was a mixture of a little bit of e-commerce, but I was still on the screen print.
Right. E-commerce, like your own brand, selling your own t-shirts to customer.
Exactly.
So how do you balance it too? Because whenever you first get into it, like a lot of people want to do their own brand. Like I noticed that a lot of people who purchase equipment want to purchase equipment, want to start their own brand. Mm-hmm. But then they find it's easier to get those types of sales where it's like B2B. So how do you balance it too growing up?
Yeah, so if you notice, a lot of people kind of pick one or the other, which lane. So at this point, it was like I had both of them, but then e-commerce took off because e-commerce is one of those businesses that with, the right funnel, landing page, making your products attractive, if you put enough fuel on the fire, aka like your ads, then the sales can come through. So a lot of times in e-commerce, I've never had the issue of selling. Right. I've had the issue of customer service, fulfilling on time because I've had influx of orders. So to answer that question, e-commerce took over, screen printing fell back. But what I did instead was I let screen print, because I didn't always have screen print jobs, become like a influx to the business.
Right.
So e-commerce became the consistency. And then screen print jobs became like, okay, if I could get like 2-3 screen print jobs a month, that may bring in a couple extra thousand to the business. And that's kind of how I managed it right there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that, man. Killing it too.
Have you ever screen printed?
I screen printed. I did direct to garment.
Mm-hmm.
I did, let me see. Yeah, so I pretty much did both of them. But screen printing, for those of you all who hasn't screen printed yet, I know a lot of everybody almost starts off with heat transfer vinyl. It's so easy to get into nowadays. But
Yeah.
the next leap up, people usually be like, should I get into screen printer? Should I get into DTG? Mm-hmm. They're both two totally different.
And I think we both got into the DTG.
Yeah.
So the thing with the DTG that's crazy is just the fact that when they advertise it, they make the DT, and the DTG is not cheap.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So they advertise the DTG like, hey, get this DTG, put your shirt on there and hit print, and you're gonna get this amazing t-shirt. No ink cost. Well, not there's no ink cost, but you don't gotta deal with ink, you don't gotta screen print, you don't gotta do all of that. And then it's just not like that.
No, it's not like that.
Because now you got pre-treat, you've got like all this stuff to deal with, and then the DTG is not a fast machine either.
It's not that fast. Unless like you're doing light colored shirts, but still the whole process of it, and you have to teach it to somebody else. You have to figure out how much pre-treat lays on a shirt so you get like the perfect print. But not only that, you're probably talking about like 15 to 20 grand just to jump into it.
Yeah.
And that's for like one machine. Mm-hmm. If you're having a heavy production day, you got a whole bunch of orders in, and you're printing, and something happens to that printer, you're pretty much down unless you want to invest another 20 grand.
And it's not something that usually, like, at least with like screen printing, you may have like shops in your cities where you can get supplies and stuff like that. But with the DTG, you got to order everything from online. There's not really like supply shops that sell DTG stuff. Like I looked up, and there's one called Sewing Machine. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
So they're in Atlanta, and they would have like pre-treat stuff, but that was it.
Right.
But like parts and all that stuff, like,
yeah,
it's over with. And then like the one that I really didn't like about the DTG, we're gonna talk about the positives of the DTG in a second, because there are people who like are good at it. Is one day I spent 8 hours printing shirts, and I got like 35 shirts done. They're full color shirts.
Right.
And then I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore, because with the heat transfers that I'm on now, we print like 600 shirts a day.
Right.
So it's a drastic difference when it comes to production. But for the positive, as we transition to that, because I know the DTG people hating on us. They trying to turn the video off right now. Basically, like, they have multiple DTGs. So it is a bigger investment.
Right.
But, like, if you have multiple DTGs and you can have, you know, it depends on the amount of shirts you can have coming off an hour. Those people do good because the DTG, the maintenance part of it. So this is just information for the people watching right here. With the DTG, you have to run it every day, at least every other day at the latest, or what you're going to at the least, because it's got that print head.
Yeah.
They talk about the white ink circulating, but if you don't run it, that white ink will dry up in your print head. Now your machine's down, you can't work, and that's like $1,600 for a new print head, and it takes hours to replace.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And then you got to wait on customer service to tell you how to do it. Mm-hmm. But just to let y'all know, because I posted a video on DTG before.
Yeah.
And I mentioned like the whole white ink thing. I had one of those printers that was quote unquote like supposed to circulate and not have issues. It does, but it still takes a few like 30 minutes just to keep on pumping the ink, and you're wasting the ink before it gives a clean print. But like we said, it might sound like we're knocking a lot of these other production methods down a lot. It's because Tony and I, we got the same like process. But DTG works great. There's no other full color print that's gonna look as good as DTG, and you're able to do one-offs like that. Yeah.
So it definitely has a place, and I would just put the DTG in that specialty category. And the reason why, like, I think what the viewers can accept is we're giving like truthful information, and the reason is because we both spent over 10 grand on a DTG machine, not understanding. So we want you guys to go into the DTG business understanding what you're getting into, because it does have a value and a need, but you got to be set up for DTG.
Right.
Because a lot of people are just thinking they're going to get the DTG, and now they're just about to be printing 100 shirts off a day, and it's easy. So like I said, we're not hating on the DTG, but there is a place for it, and if you have that place, it can be very good for you.
I will at least say you need one employee running it for you.
Yeah, full time, definitely. Full time. Yeah.
All right, so let them know your process now then.
Yeah, so now what my process is, let me see if it makes sense to go to that. Yeah, let's go to that. So now what my process is, with my business, Historically Black Apparel, it has 120 designs on it, right? And it sells at a low cost, $9.99 and $14.99. $9.99 for one ink color, $14.99 for full colors. And the only way that I can possibly get that done, because I bought the DTG for that, is speed. Because now been able to lower my price, but in order to create a profit from that, since there's a smaller margin, I got to be able to get this stuff out quickly,
Right.
so that I'm not like losing money and time, getting charged back, stuff like that. But also, I'm having an influx of shirts coming through as well, because now people don't have to think about it. They're like, it's $9.99. Let me get 8 of them. You know what I mean? So now we moved to using FM Expression 613 originals, and you use SupaColor, right?
Well, I use SupaColor for full color, but
full
I
color?
use 613 for like single color.
Okay, so we're
color.
both using them.
Yeah.
Cool. And they're pretty quick too,
Oh, yeah,
with
they-
just
they
like
ship
getting
within
stuff.
2 days.
Yeah, super quick. So, and they're affordable too. So like a one color design, I order in bundles like 100. It's like $40-something before shipping.
Right.
So like you said, they get here in 2 days. But that method allows me to mass produce small quantities. So people are all day ordering 1s and 2s of just a bunch of stuff. So screen printing would never work for that.
Right.
But the transfers work perfectly because we've got a system. All the transfers are coded in a drawer. My staff can see, like in a custom software I had built, what shirt size, what color, and what transfer to pull. They put it on top like in a bin.
Right.
Moves to the Hottronic Stahls heat press, and then they press that. So also, which they'll probably see in your vlogs, we got the dual heat press with the 2 stations on it.
Right.
That helps with speed, and then the folding machine. So between heat transfers, the folding machine, and the press, it's all about speed, and that's how we get stuff out.
Right.
So,
So I like that.
Yeah, the
I have
transfers. It helps.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the transfer. I have a similar process, but it's a little different. Since I sell marketplaces, my whole thing is like quantity.
got you.
So I have like thousands of designs up there.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said, I have to have a one-off process. So that's why I had DTG. I had to
Yeah.
have a one-off process. But then I got into white toner. The quality isn't the greatest.
Yeah.
But I'll use that for all of the one-off.
You still have the white toner?
Yeah, I still have the white toner.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
still trying to find an alternative.
Yeah.
But I'm still using the white toner. So I'll use that for every single one-off. But as soon as you start seeing 10 sales on a particular item, then I turn it into transfers.
So to make it make sense, then there's 2 things I want to ask you, because a lot of people get into this when they first start their brand. They want to have like a bunch of different designs.
Yeah.
So I can understand where the DTG would be perfect for that business.
Right.
So, because you don't have a transfers for all thousands of designs, do you?
No, I print it out on the white toner. But
Okay,
so that way
okay.
I'm like able to test the market.
Got you.
As soon as it starts getting sales and I can see traction, it's like it gets like 10 sales,
Yeah.
turn it into transfers.
Got you. Okay, okay. So anything, the white toner is, explain to them what the white toner is versus the DTG, so that we can.
All right, so
all
white
understand.
toner is pretty much just the powder toner. It prints onto a transfer sheet. You take that transfer sheet, put it onto the heat press, and then there's another, it's called an A-B sheet. So that's your A sheet, which is what just got printed out. The B sheet is pretty much like an adhesive. So that pretty much adds the backing to
Yeah.
make it an actual heat transfer. So you
Okay.
have to marry the adhesive onto the ink.
Okay.
So that takes about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So you peel that off, and then now
2
it takes it
minutes
to
from
transfer.
print to transfer.
Well, it'll probably take about 10 seconds to print out the printer. It's pretty quick.
Yeah,
The printer
because I
prints
saw
out
it
quick.
online. I just didn't understand because I saw all the steps. But you're saying within 2 minutes you can have a transfer.
A little over 2 minutes, but
Okay.
yeah, around that ballpark.
Okay, so I mean that's still cool for people who are also getting started. How much does a white ink toner cost?
So you have, I think, it starts around $4,000 or so, but then you're limited on
Much
that.
cheaper than a DTG.
Yeah, it's much cheaper, so you can get into it quickly. But for $4,000, it's limited on the paper space. So I think
Okay.
it's printing out like maybe 10 by 8.5 or something.
So if you wanted like a 13 by 19 or 11 by 17, how much would that one cost?
So the one I have is the iColor 800. It's about $9,000.
Mm-hmm.
It prints out, I think, 13 by 19 max. But the thing about it is I fit 2 designs on there.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
the print price is pretty cheap
yeah.
per print.
So I guess another gem for people too is if you are still in that proof of concept mode.
Yeah.
Because what happened for me with the DTG was it wasn't fast enough, and then I only had 120 designs, and then I was like, I would rather spend the $40, and if it fails, I just lost $40 versus my time with me printing it, trying to get a good printout.
Right.
But what I like about the white ink toner printer is you don't have all the maintenance of the DTG, do you?
Right? No.
Okay, so that's good. So then when you're still in that proof of concept, it's like, hey, I don't know if this is really going to sell. I want to test stuff out. I'm going to use this machine as like, it's always going to be like my superhero to save me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Save me and I'm in trouble because what I don't want to do is refund customers, and now they're like, man, every time I go to here, it's like they send me my money back, you know. But I do want to have a way or a resource to fulfill these small quantities.
Right.
So, and you said that's the iColor what?
The iColor 800. So that's what I use, but the quality is not the greatest if you want to use it for like a clothing brand. So, but the difference between why I went that route instead of DTG is DTG. You know, it's already twice the price.
Right.
And it's harder to teach somebody that.
Yeah, it is.
It prints less T-shirts like per hour than you can do with the white toner.
Because the DTG, like, there's sometimes it would take 10 to 12 minutes for the full color designs.
Right. But it looks way better.
Yeah. So if you keep it maintenance well and the humidity is right. That's another thing. So sometimes people don't think, like, I used to have to keep a humidifier in the room too to keep the humidity, because when that ink is coming out, it's water-based ink. Yeah. So if you don't want it to dry out as it's printing, so that's something else. But it seems like for a lot of people who are getting started, and they need something that's producing one-offs, they've got a lot of designs. Yeah. They want to increase their margin versus using like Printify and Printful, even those are great resources. Right. Maybe this is a good option for them.
Yeah, maybe this is a good option. Or one more would be dye sublimation, but you only can do it like on 50/50 t-shirts and light color t-shirts. Okay. But then you still have like the same print effect as like DTG. Like it's soaked into the t-shirt. It's cheaper. You can probably get in for like $1,500. So that's like also a one-off solution.
You just had to get a printer that can print like 11 by 17 or 13 by 19.
Yeah, about 13 by 19.
Do they still make the Epson 1430?
You talking about so people can DIY it?
Yeah, because see that printer I got down there, that black one? Or did they like upgrade to something new?
No, I think it might be a mixture of both, but I know in like the actual DIY community, it's like they hoard those printers. It's hard to find. Yeah,
they do. They're hard to find, all that stuff.
But yeah, a lot of people, so if you want to go to DIY route, you can get like an Epson 1430. I don't have too much experience in the DIY route, but you can do both. You can do it for DTG or use it for, dye sublimation. You get one of those Epson or inkjet printers. And then there's a kit. Usually my homie Cosmos, he sells a kit for about $150. He has DIY videos, and he'll show you how to do it.
What about, since we are talking about DIY right now, I've never really messed with it, but have you ever done anything with like the Cricuts or Silhouettes?
No, I haven't touched them.
Okay, me either. I had a friend that did it. I know those are somewhat kind of cool for like women use them a lot. Right. And that you can like cut small vinyl pieces if you don't want to get like a bigger industrial vinyl machine. Right. And they can like personalize cups, mouse pads, all that different type of stuff, that they can do. So we don't know too much about it, but I know that's an option too. And you can get in like under $300.
Yeah, I think that's it's a very great intro into like the industry itself. You could also do like one-off like vinyl t-shirts and then find a way to transition to, let me get a screen printer. It's just a very great introduction to the entire like industry, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And then I guess I want to ask you, as we were talking about like the Oki, the white toner printers and stuff. Well, I guess you already answered. I was gonna say what transitioned you to the transfers, but you have a process. If it hits over 10 shirts, it's worth investing the money to stock the transfer. So
you save the time, move a little faster. If you already sell that much, you're already pretty much paying for the transfers.
Yeah. How do you stock yours?
How do I stock it? It's not as crazy as yours. But I get those little office shelves. It's on Amazon. I'll post a link down below if y'all want. It's 5-tiered. But I also have the 4-tiered shelf. I don't know what you call it. Just like the 4-tier shelf you get from like Home Depot and stuff. Yeah. Get a whole bunch of those little 5 next to each other on those shelves.
Nice. Okay. And then let's talk about like marketplaces, because now it's like we're talking about processes of how people can make stuff, but now let's talk about how they can make money as well, how they can sell stuff. So you have more experience than me, because I usually I'm kind of like a Shopify purist. You know what I mean? All my stuff is Shopify, but I've never indulged into like selling on eBay, Etsy, Amazon. So tell people like the pros and cons of that and how they can get into it as well.
So pros of like a marketplace like Amazon or Etsy is the fact that there's already traffic there. People and the trust factor is there. And I know that's what a lot of people struggle with when it comes to building your own website. There's no traffic, and it's some people don't know how to even build a website properly, like putting the privacy policy down below. The shipping times, that gives people trust. You
So
know?
let me stop you right there because that's an excellent point. A lot of people always say, like, what's the difference between this or that? So he is right because me being a Shopify purist, my websites and different shirt business I have live and breathe off of paid advertisement.
Right.
So the organic's not so strong. I mean, there's some Google,
Right.
but paid's always going to be further. So I'm spending, $15,000-$20,000 a month in Facebook ads, and of course I'm heavily watching them, making sure I'm not losing on my daily returns. But then, are you saying that people can actually go to these marketplaces and be successful without the ads?
I would say so, but in long term, you do want to build your own website because even though you work off paid ads, you have customers. Those are yours.
And I have that data.
Yes.
So he's right too, because that's another thing. Because like when you're advertising and selling on Amazon, they're not sending you the customer data.
No.
So they're just giving you like an address to ship to, right?
Well, you also get their email, but it's illegal to take that email and just throw it in your own
Because I thought
list.
you couldn't get their email.
No, you can see their email on Etsy. I can't remember on Amazon. I
You
haven't checked
can.
in a while.
I heard Amazon like locks
you
everything
can message
down.
them. I haven't checked in a while. I have to check again.
They said you can message through the app, but you don't
Yeah.
get the email.
The only thing about it is like you have to get them to. You have to send them a mailing list and have them opt in. It's illegal for you to just take the email and throw it into.
Yeah, with all the data and privacy. Versus now that you're selling on Amazon, the cool thing, I'm not Amazon, but when you're selling on Shopify, it can take a little time to jumpstart.
Right.
But then also what you have is like, I have all my customers' data. So there's times when the bank account isn't looking amazing.
Right.
And then I have a Shopify list, because I've been doing it for a while, of like 80, 90,000 people.
Yeah.
So when there's a holiday, I send a sale out through Klaviyo, which is amazing email platform to use for Shopify. Is absolutely the best. You got a link for that you could put down there for them? It'll be down there. So Klaviyo. But there's times when like I'm low on money and I'll send out a campaign like I just did for Juneteenth. I sent out a shirt that was $14.99, dropped it to $7.99 because I had a bunch of extra inventory for it.
Right.
Did like $28,000 over the weekend, no paid ads, just my email list. So that's the power of retaining your customer data.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but this will also test you, like, how bad do you want it? Because this is a long-term game. That wasn't, like, overnight. Like,
No.
I got customers to email.
Yeah.
So, you really got to be consistent and put in the work if you want something like that.
So to give them, because they're probably curious, I'm curious, when you put it on Etsy, Amazon, do you do eBay?
No, I don't do that.
Okay. When you put it on these marketplaces that already have traffic, I know it's gonna be different for everybody, but when did you first start seeing sales, or did you like boost your ads or listings on those marketplaces?
So I don't boost it, but so the first time I dealt with Etsy, I did it with decals. And, I got a sale here and there, and that was before I even did T-shirts, and I was like, man, it's not for me. But I saw a few sales, so I was like, there's something there. Eventually, I came back and I got into T-shirts. I just happened to hit like the right niche or niche. That first hit, I was like, I posted back to school T-shirts. And I'm like, if I just keep trying different T-shirt styles, then something else will hit. So
and that's what's good about the white toner, because you can try stuff.
Yes, I can keep trying stuff.
Okay.
And then I move with speed. Once something gets popular, I'll turn it into transfers. So that's pretty much how the whole process works. But it works off of searchable content. So you post a T-shirt, and those keywords have to be something somebody's looking for. But that's the thing. When somebody's looking for it, they're ready to convert. Instead of you throwing a Facebook ad onto, like, Facebook, whenever they scroll across it, it has to be a design where, I want that T-shirt rather, so then they're already searching for it, ready to convert.
Nice. I'm trying to think too, like we shared like a lot of game with them, told them about different processes, a little bit about our story, pros and cons of all of it. I do want to talk about this because I did bring it up. So some people are going to watch this and they're like, man, I'm really inspired. I want to start my T-shirt business, but I don't really have any extra money right now to invest into equipment.
Right.
So this is what I always talk about. Remember when I was talking about Printful and Printify?
Yeah.
These are also other great ways to test proof of concept.
Right.
So maybe right now your idea for your brand is still in your head. You got the passion for it, but your money's allocated different stuff in your life. Well, what you can do is you can create your Shopify site, because that's where I'm first, more versed. But it also integrates with like WooCommerce and WordPress, Wix, all of those things. You can connect these really cool, simple to use third-party fulfillment apps into your site, aka Printful, Printify into there. And then what can happen is you literally like match up what products you want, what shirts you want with the design. And now as your customers are purchasing, you know, they're sending it out for you. They're automatically going to charge your card. Once the order comes through, you're just going to keep the difference. So now what happens is you can kind of save, it's a smaller margin, but you can start saving some of that money. Or you can see, hey, this is a proof of concept that works. I'm going to go get a loan as a family member. I'm going to invest in this because I have something that I have proof that it's working. And that's a way that you got that proof, built up your confidence in the business without spending the money.
Right. I was just about to get into that too, because as soon as I say, hey, somebody use print on demand, they're going to be like, it's expensive. Well, you don't have the money for the equipment anyway.
Exactly.
Just go ahead and jump into it. But one thing they always say too is like, they'll say, I don't make as much money, but that's not necessarily true. You make less profit, but you can make more money because you can spend some of that time that you're not spending in production on marketing, sales, getting more traffic. So spend your time on something that you don't have to do, because when you get into production, you're going to see, man, this is taking some time.
Exactly. So you're right, because time is money. So now you're saving all this time, but now you just gave me a light bulb that just popped up for another play. So these are for the people who don't have the money at the moment to start investing in equipment. So what I want you to do, get your notepads out, guys. What you're going to do, and it's going to take a few months for this to happen. You're going to start your e-commerce site, and this has to be on Shopify for this play. You're going to get creative, make your designs, add your products, connect to Printify or Printful, because they're going to do the fulfilling, so stuff gets out in time. But what you were saying was it's not about making the profit. So what rang in my head was the revenue, right? So now for your store, you want that revenue to drive up, and then you're going to get a Shopify capital offer. You know what I'm saying? So now you can take Shopify's money. It's still not profit yet. Take that money, because they may say, and there's a video on my page talking about that too. So they can understand how it works. But it's like, now let's say after 3 months, you were doing $5,000 to $10,000, whatever it is in sales, they may offer you $7,500. Now you can take that money and get your first piece of equipment and then raise your profit margin. So that's the play right there.
That is
you know what I'm saying? That's a play right there.
So he said you have to do it on Shopify. It's not necessarily true. You can do it on Amazon. Amazon has capital too. So if you don't know how to build your own traffic, try out Amazon. Etsy doesn't have it, but Amazon has it. Amazon is a little bit harder than Etsy, but if you just like struggling on Shopify, don't know how to generate some traffic, try out Amazon. So
because then you get the marketplace. Yeah. Okay.
So either or.
Nice. Yeah, so I think, is that it? Or you think?
I don't know, man.
That was a lot of game right there. That was a lot of game.
Y'all let me know.
There.
Y'all want to see Tony some more? Just let me know, because I can pull up on Tony all the time. And I think the most important thing to take away every time is that there's pros and cons. In this game, there's pros and cons to every single production method, every single scenario of you selling. It's just like what you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. And like what I would say too is what people first need to get started on is understanding their strategy. Because like you said, there's so many different ways to move and shake in this business. But you got to figure out, what's my goal, right? So a lot of people are like, I want to start a clothing brand, right? So right now it's wide, that's airy. But then they're like, okay, I want to start a clothing brand. And then if they do have the money, they buy all this equipment, aka what I went through, and then you become a t-shirt shop because you're always producing. So like you said, that time is money. You know, you can spend your time marketing. You got to figure out, do I want to do screen printing and produce for others? Because if so, you need the equipment. Do I want to have my own brand? And if that's so, I would suggest you get your inventory printed from a printer, or have it connected to one third-party fulfillments. That way you can focus on that marketing and build your brand. So definitely, like, get your pen and paper out if you're still in the video for this part, and write down, what's my goal, what's my strategy, and where do I want to take what I'm trying to start in the apparel business.
Also, just real quick, contract printing is an easy game to get into. Call your city. There's a lot of dollar printers around. They just want to keep their printers running, like you said in the last one. So call around and then use that for your B2B services.
Because the printer that we just did on your last video, the City Trends with, he told me, he said, man, there's enough people that can print. There's not enough people that can sell. So he was like, I don't want you to try to print. You send me all the work. And that's that relationship that I was talking about building with. So then I was like, man, I used to always sell t-shirts, but I just did that 5,200 piece for City Trend. So I'm like, anybody that has 50 or more shirts, I'm like, I'll manage the order and make sure you get your inventory. But all these people can do the same exact thing.
For sure.
But if you don't want to do it, hit your boy up and I'll manage your t-shirt order for you.
So, I think that was a lot, man.
Yeah,
I don't even know what minute mark we at, but if y'all enjoyed this video, y'all want
where we
to
at, DJ?
Where we at?
35
That's
minutes.
good. That's
35
solid. 30
minutes
minutes
a
is
game.
solid.
Yeah.
We had a whole nother 30 minutes that just got cut out. So.
Right.
Y'all let me know if y'all enjoyed this, man.
Yeah.
Hit up Tony, tuned in.
Yep.
You do it.
Yeah. It's tuned in Tony on all platforms. You can check me out on Instagram. I'm building the YouTube game up right now with my boy Rich. So you'll see a couple videos on it. Show me some love and show me if you want me to stay more on YouTube or just stay on the Instagram. But definitely follow me at Tuned In Tony. You'll see it in the comments and description below. Checking out.
All right, make sure y'all check it out because that next video he gonna drop is crazy.
Yes, sir.
All right. So comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.
All right.